Just imagine this. You wake up, you put your clothes on, you have breakfast and brush your teeth as you usually do. But you're doing this all in a rush because you have a bus to catch, right? You arrive at the bus stop and luckily your bus is a little bit late, so you get there on time. And as you get on the bus and put your backpack right next to you while sitting on one of those seats, you just cannot stop thinking of how lucky you were. When you arrive at school, you greet your friends before attending morning class, which is followed by the next class and another class and another class till your day ends. After school, you decide to hang out with your friends and talk about stupid stuff, which is basically the most enjoying time of the day, right? One of your mates said that he could drink a whole Coke bottle in one chug. He couldn't. It was fun. After some time, you take the bus back home, and as you look out of the window, you think to yourself, it was a good day. I wonder how long it will last. The next day you do the same. You are a little bit late, take the bus, go to school, hang with mates and come back. This process repeats itself for several days until one day the bus doesn't show up. So you skip class. The next day you try to do the same because it might have been a fluke, right? But again, the bus doesn't show up. This happens again and again and again until you almost want to skip school altogether. Now why doesn't this one good bus show up as it used to? You ask yourself defeated while you're marching back home. So one day you call one of your friends asking them what the hell happened because they get there just fine. Now the answer that they gave was just so obvious that it made you feel baffled and idiotic at the same time. So as promised, the next day you did exactly what they did. There it was in its majesty. The bus. What it was that his friends did that you didn't, you ask? Well, they just left their homes 5 minutes earlier than they used to because lately the bus didn't get stuck in traffic anymore. So if you just did a little bit of your own due diligence, you would have realized the fact that the great bus does indeed arrive on a daily basis and that in the past you just missed it because you didn't pay attention to those things. Great buses still exist. You just have to look them up. This is why I made a list of those buses that yearly come true in the world of anime, which basically means that I'm going to talk about anime that have no bad episodes, believe it or not, they exist. Like the series I'll be discussing are entertaining and fresh without having any dull arcs that the viewer finds themselves slogging through. These anime, while I'll be honest, are not necessarily masterpieces, are consistent and don't have any bad episodes. Of course, please keep in mind that while this list is a mix of the general consensus and my personal opinion, it will remain highly subjective. So with that being said, let's get right into it. The first anime in my list is called Blast of Tempest, which is an action-packed supernatural shonen anime made by the also well-known studio Bones. The story is centered around Yoshino Takigawa, an ordinary teenager who is secretly dating his best friend's younger sister. Okay, first of all, this is a terrible introduction. It's like they wanted us to hate the protagonist from the get-go. The man is your best friend and as a token of your brotherhood, you tongue wrestle with his sister? Huh? But maybe I'm just too old and this is what the youth does nowadays, so I let this one slide. But just this one time, be advised, I'm watching you. Fortunately for us, but unfortunately for Yoshino, his girlfriend mysteriously dies, followed by the disappearance of his best friend who vowed to find the one responsible for murdering his beloved sister. Now, if I didn't know any better, I would especially keep an eye on Yoshino. I mean, if you ask me, Yoshino probably couldn't handle the breakup and took matters in his own hands, if you know what I mean. There's nothing that a good old hands around her neck couldn't fix, eh? But maybe that's just the protein shakes I'm pumping into my eye crevices talking and I'm being delusional. Or am I? After the death of his lover, Yoshino continues his life as usual and has not heard from his best friend in a month until he gets saved by him after being held at gunpoint. This is also where the story starts getting interesting, so I let you guys enjoy the rest of it if you ever plan to watch it.
What's Past is prologue.
The Tempest, William Shakespeare. Nothing could say more about Blast of Tempest than Shakespeare's The Tempest, which is heavily referenced throughout the series. Blast of the Tempest is a story about overcoming entrapment in the past, both figuratively and literally. Now I know that the show occasionally falls short of absolute excellence in its willingness to allow characters to fill their roles, I know that. But nonetheless it does a pretty dang good job at presenting a story of past entanglement which is both well realized localized and non-contradictory with a cast that synergizes their differing viewpoints so well. It is a show I absolutely do recommend, so go watch it if you want to have a good time. The next anime that totally tickled me in my special place is called Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, aka Attack on Titan. The world is in the midst of the Industrial Revolution when horrific creatures emerge from a mysterious virus, ripping through the flesh of humans trying to stop their never-ending appetite. The only way to kill these beings, known as Kabane, is by destroying their steel-coated hearts. However, if bitten by one of these monsters, the victim is doomed to a fate worse than death, as the fallen rise once more to join the ranks of their fellow undead. Mwahaha! Only the most fortified of civilizations have survived this turmoil, as is the case with the island of the main protagonist, where mankind has created a massive wall to protect themselves from the endless hordes of titans. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Kabane. The one and only way into these giant fortresses is through heavily armored trains, which are serviced and built by young men such as our main protagonist Ikoma. Having created a deadly weapon that he believes will easily pierce through the hearts of Kabane, Ikoma eagerly awaits the day when he will be able to fight using his new invention. Little does he know, however, that his chance will come much sooner than he expected. The story of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is pretty decent, and throughout the whole run we didn't see any kind of plot deviation. In fact, the pace of the story is terrific. The comparison in writing with Attack on Titan is only true with basic premises. Other than that, it has its own merits, and in some instances, I'm gonna say it, even pars with Attack on Titan. Normally, the post-apocalyptic stories fail to deliver the right content, but this anime definitely is an exception to this rule, which is why I find this anime series to be so exceptional. So yeah, go watch it. Or don't. I don't care. The next beam boom-bastic anime in my list is called Ping Pong, the animation. Now before you beat me up for wasting your time, please let me first explain myself. The story is a simple one and it chronicles the lives of two boys and their experiences with table tennis. We are introduced to Makoto Tsukimoto, nicknamed Smile, which in hindsight is a very misfitted nickname. It's like nicknaming me funny, or cute, or charming. Smile's boastful best friend is called Peko. Smile and Peko are polar opposites of each other and we follow them through their high school ping pong careers. Now before you ask me if I want my beating now or later, I have to say this. Ping Pong story is told in just 11 episodes and it's nothing short of pacing perfection. Everything meshes wonderfully from start to finish and each episode provides just the right amount of information without overwhelming or confusing the viewer. Each episode is satisfying and this makes it very tempting to marathon. But that's another anime. Ping Pong is a great sports anime. Ow! What the frick, man? Why did you slap me? You idiot! To even think of Ping Pong the animation as just another sports anime would be a gross error of judgment. Ping Pong the animation is not just about sports. It's not about ping pong. Well then what is it? It's a profoundly human story, a look at the lives, passion and motivation of characters that sound and act so real that you can't help to think of them as real flesh and blood. People with feelings, emotions and souls of their goddamn own. Alright, I get it. Chill out, Nietzsche. I mean, even though the slap hurts, and he's quite a dick about it, he's right. Ping pong is not about sports or the athletes if you're being totally honest about it. It's not about winning or losing. It's against the very concept of competition and the ruthless system that creates winners at the cost of losers. It is a critique of the mindset that glorifies success and distorts life. Ping Pong the animation is about its characters. It is a coming-of-age story that explores, among other things, the theme of friendship and the influence of the past on the present. It shows how our decisions and efforts in the present affect the future and the natural process of constant growth and experience that every single person goes through. Like back in high school, this dude used to bully me, but guess what? Every time he now comes through in this Lambo, I spit in his coffee. The show utilizes the unordinary and implements it with finesse in just one season. All the characters end up in unimaginable places that in hindsight suit them. It chronicles the heartfelt physical and emotional journeys of multiple characters and delivers a conclusion brimming with heart yet grounded in reality. This is why I truly find Ping Pong to be an anime with no bad episodes, as in just one season the characters reach their peak of their growth and end up finding their own road to happiness. Well, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a thing or two, because obviously that's what this anime channel is about. But before you leave, please do not forget to subscribe and to leave a like and a comment in order to help this channel grow, because I'm still a small channel that needs all the attention and love it can get, quite like a baby. I'm the Generic Anime Watcher, and hopefully I'll see you again anytime soon. Bye. Now get out.